Adam Driver says that Star Wars Episode 9 is their last chance to get it right, which makes sense for a lot of reasons, boys. It's the last chance. Maybe why.
Is that a subtle jab that they haven't gotten it right in the last 2 movies?
No, I think what he's saying is it's a trilogy. It's the 3rd film. We're probably done with these characters for a while on the movie screen. Jesse, isn't that how you take this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that you can lean into there. I mean, if you look into the quote, he kind of talks about what it's like to be working on a project, and it takes time to actually get comfortable with it.
Let's go ahead and talk about that. In the quote, it says, "In the plays that I've done, a 6-month run, on the very last day, you finally feel like, oh, now I have a better understanding of what it is that I want to do, and I wish we could do this all over again." Working on a play, the questions you can ask yourself are infinite, and that's what's torturous about film sometimes. You only have one shot to get it right, and you can do a lot of takes, but we're not all going to get back together again and do this. But for something you're doing for 6 years, you still have a chance to go back and make something a little bit more articulated. So I think what that quote does is reinforce the fact that there's no slamming. It's the truth, though. When you're doing theater, you're only able to do it, time and time again. I mean, there are shows that have 100-show runs.
You can grow and evolve and adapt,
right?
And that's a
learn from the audience.
Like a theater play is, something where it's just like, yeah, they can allow for that growth and everything. But a movie, he says it right there.
But think about like what he's saying on set too. Let's say you get 32 takes. There's a chance that you don't get it by the 32nd take, and you just have to move on. Mm-hmm. Some say that might have happened with Attack of the Clones a few times along the way.
I remember.
I like Hayden Christensen. A
few times,
but there's this that I hate Sandline. It just really felt like he needed a 33rd attempt.
You know what? I connect with the Sandline now that I work at Hobby Lobby. All the glitter.
Oh yeah, right. So what I like about this,
it's everywhere.
The thing about movie 2 is your editor can be your biggest hero or can fail you, because the movie is really made in the edit. Mm-hmm. You have the screenplay, and that's a hard gig. Like I do not want J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio gig of having to write a Star Wars movie. That's a lot of pressure. Okay, we talk about it every week on the show. That's a lot of pressure to meet the expectations and the desires of the fans. Then you go and you shoot the thing, and then you have your director doing the best job of bringing that to life. But timing, like especially with humor, that's all done in the edit. Mm-hmm. And all these actors are kind of vulnerable to them in the edit room. But I think what it is, ultimately, is this is Adam Driver getting out there and saying, hey, listen, this is the end of a 6-year run. It's been a thrill, and we're going to give you something memorable. And we've heard a lot about what potentially Kylo could be doing, what Rey could potentially be doing, what could potentially happen with Leia, that they're not holding back in this last episode. And I looked at Adam Driver as kind of like the leader for Episode 9, because I think overwhelmingly he is the fans' favorite in the sequel movies as far as the intensity he brings to Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren feels raw. Mm-hmm. Doesn't feel refined like a Leia. Doesn't feel like seasoned like Obi-Wan Kenobi, whether that's in the prequels with Ewan McGregor or with Alec Guinness in the originals. There's like a toughness there. And I would best describe Kylo Ren as raw, and I think he is going to be raw in Episode 9 when he dies.
So you think on set he's kind of one that floats to the natural leader, like the main star of a TV show kind of does that role?
I think with the younger generation, this new generation of Daisy Ridley, you have John Boyega out there, you have Oscar Isaac, who is an established actor in his own right. Mm-hmm. I think that there's probably some mentorship, but he's the one that we're hearing talk about the movies. You never hear about Daisy Ridley getting out there. We had John Boyega last week tweet a photo of his hands, but
well, I mean, as you know, they're being very secretive about this film in general. But
as always,
it's one of those things where if they think an actor is a risk of leaking too much, or maybe Daisy likes to talk too much, or maybe John likes to talk too much. So maybe that's what they're going, hey, you need to tone it down a bit.
It cannot be as bad as Spider-Man.
Which one?
You're Spider-Man.
When Tom Holland goes on.
Tom Holland just likes to spoil
interviews.
everything. We don't have that problem in Star Wars.
Apparently they don't let him interview with Mark Ruffalo because he does the same thing.
Yeah, they have bad effects on the other. What do you think about the words of Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, the Raw villain? What do you think about his words as far as this is the last chance? I think that we've pretty much established, listen, he's not slamming the previous 2 movies by any means. He's just saying it's been a fun 60-year run. This is our last chance to really give the fans an incredible adventure. And I think that if there's anything that both of these 2 movies of the sequel trilogy have been, it's adventurous. So looking forward to seeing what happens in this final installment in the Skywalker saga this December. It's here. It's 2019. Let us know what you think in the live chat, or if you're catching us on the rewind, let us know down in the comments below.
Thank you for watching Beyond the Blast Doors. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. Beyond the Blast Doors, a Star Wars conversation.